Welcome everybody to the Urbane Legend Mailbag.
Hello, and welcome to Urbane Legends, podcast ostensibly about urban legends. So what we decided to do this week, because Series 2 has finished, we've been going through the mailbag or the email server and the socials, because we always give them out, but we do try to respond to everyone, but we're going to answer some of the questions, just not really, live to us.
I'll respond now.
We're going to have a little respond now. So I am
Chris. Let it gestate for a few months, you know.
Let it gestate. And with that cheeky voice you hear in the background is Mr.
Neil Herbert.
Hi, Neil. How's your week?
It's been all right, actually. We're on a bank holiday weekend, aren't we? The weather's not as nice as I could like, but, you know, can't complain too much about that. But no, it's been all right. Short week last week and, another short week next week. So, hey, that's all good.
Lovely. So I've dug through and I've not read through them properly, but I've pulled out just 10 emails, just made sure they weren't Me Too or anything like that. Have you done the same?
Yeah, I filtered out all of the ones calling one or both of us the C word.
Oh, I didn't.
Did you not? Oh, that's fine. Or any other inappropriate.
No, there wouldn't have been anything to read.
I'll be honest with you. They're mostly critical. I'll be honest with you. They're robust. They're strident in their criticism. I've got no problem with that.
Well, that's fine. But quite rightly.
Yeah.
How else?
If it's bordering on an outright crime, I've tried to sort of like filter that out. We'll see how well I've done.
Yeah. Okay.
And some of them, do you know what? Some of them they were a little bit positive, Chris. Imagine that.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I've not seen any of those.
Have you not? No.
Right. So, shall I? We'll go like one on one.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay. So this is not a particularly positive one, but I'll go. Neil,
okay. I'll be responding to the non-positive one. That's good. Thanks.
Okay.
Chris.
So this is from a listener who's called Bacon and Eggs. And they have
not
said,
using your real name there, coward.
Well, unless they are.
Yeah, well, that's true. It could have a very unconventional name.
It could be from the Alsace region. I believe that's eggs is a popular surname.
Back on. Yeah.
So, hello. You two don't seem to have any on-air chemistry. Are you really friends in real life, or is it part of the show? Neil.
So I think friends is a broad spectrum of opportunity, isn't it? So I think really, you know, Chris and I are two special people who found someone we can tolerate.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not the other.
Well, you know, we used to hang out with other people, but then they've all sort of slowly drifted away because, you know, it's society's crime, not ours, Chris.
COVID was a great excuse for a lot of people to leave us to our own devices.
Yeah.
I would say yes. Well, I mean, we are friends. Yeah, we've known each other for several years now, only through the internet.
Yeah, I think we can cover that one before, didn't we? It's been over a decade, but we'll put it in those terms.
So, what would you say to the criticism of our on-air chemistry?
Well, you know, it's like sometimes you'll see, you know, like some great romance or something, and they put them on air, and it just doesn't sizzle,
doesn't pop.
You know, it's not always the case. You know, about chemistry in real life, but it just doesn't translate to the microphone.
It's a slow burn.
Yeah. Look, you wait until around 7th season or 8. It'll get much snappier. We'll be like one of those 30 screwball comedies.
Okay, so there you
other
go.
than our slowing synapses and brains will make it a bit less, so, you know, as close to as we can possibly hope.
I'll just make it tight in the edit. There you go, Bacon Eggs. Thanks for writing in. Neil, do you have an email for us?
Yeah, just speed us up 1.5 times or something, and it'll make it easier for the listener as well because get it over with quicker.
I already have to do that. So it's been 3
really,
times.
That's us sped up, is it?
Be like the fucking chipmunks.
Yeah. Right, let's have a look. I've got one here. Hey both, I'd like to thank you both for helping me turn a corner in my life.
No.
I won't go into the details, but it's been a hard few years, and sometimes I could hardly stand to look at myself in the mirror.
Is this from me?
No. Well, I never thought I'd feel better until I come across your podcast and found two people more apathetic than anyone I've ever met. The fact that you can still drive yourselves to vanity publish a podcast that no one will listen to twice has really made me come to peace with my own lack of standards. And this is from Ted Cruz from Texas. Now, I don't know if that's, Senator.
I wonder if that's
Senator
our listener
Cruz.
from Austin.
You do wonder, don't you?
Yeah, because we've got.
I don't know.
We've got several
listeners. Could be a prank. Could be a prank. Could be just a coincidence. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'd like, I'm glad that we're helping people come to terms with their own low standards.
Yeah.
It's certainly helping me to realise that you don't have to, not everything has to be perfect. Sometimes,
just as well, you've adopted that philosophy, Chris.
Sometimes
competition's a sham.
Sometimes just doing something's enough, I find.
Yeah. Sometimes you've got to measure what you're doing, and then sometimes you find out you're at the bottom of the pile, and that's fine.
And when you're there, then what you do is you just replace quality with quantity.
Yep. You can't get to the top less starting from the bottom, Chris. That's what I've always said. Okay,
well, if that's the real Ted Cruz, weird that you're listening to us. If it's a comedy Ted Cruz, or someone who didn't want to use their real name, thank you anyway. And if it's just someone unfortunately called Ted Cruz, who also lives in Texas, then you hang on in there. Right, so here's another one. Neil, you seem to have quite an exciting life with all those jobs and stuff. Lols. Which one has been your favourite so far? And that's from Jill Navarro in Scottsdale.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's been so many that I can really remember what they all were.
In exactly 50.
It's exactly 50 jobs.
Remembering one of them would be fine.
Yeah. Well, did I work for Yuri Geller once? That was fun.
You were part of his motorcycle gang.
Motorcycle gang. I can't remember whether that was I think I was a king of Burundi or something at some point as well.
Zamunda,
yeah.
Yeah, Ralph Bazubu.
Yeah, that would. That was the closest they could sort of translate my Neil Herbert into.
It was.
Yeah,
it's anglicised.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a very weird King Ralph situation. I ended up.
It was a mixture of King Ralph and Coming to America, which is where Zamunda's from.
Okay, that's just as well. Yeah, so that was exciting to be a fictional royal character and related to Eddie Murphy. I'll take that for $1.
Okay, lovely. Well, there's your answer. Well, there you go, Jill. Those are Neil's two favourite ears. Time in Uri Geller's MC and when he was King of Zamunda. Neil.
Yeah, so, here's an interesting one. There's another...
Don't oversell it.
Hey, both. Have you ever thought about doing a true crime podcast? I enjoy listening to the show, but feel your meticulous research and preparation would better suit a more serious topic. That's from Wendy in Hull.
Wendy.
Thoughts, Chris?
Yeah, they are popular, the true crime genre. I think maybe it's an oversaturated market now. I mean, there are elements of true crime, like Greenbrier Ghosts. That was a true crime that happened, but with someone pretending it's in a ghost
years ago,
in it. Yeah, but it's still true. Like,
that's true, yeah.
Jesus was 2,000 years ago. He's true.
We could do a true crime podcast from history, like Prometheus stealing fire from the gods. Anyone looked into that? Where was the money, Chris? I think that was a cover-up.
Do you reckon? Was it by big flame? Big juice?
Big pantheon or something. I don't know.
It does touch into true, it being the.
You're trying to claim we are a true crime podcast.
I might be trying to claim that maybe
this is a desperate rearguard action, as I would say. Worse than fucking Zulu, this.
Well, I'd say that maybe we are a true crime podcast to an extent. We've looked at, like the Dyatlov incident. That was probably not a crime. I mean, it was true something. What are those little fellas in South Africa that give you sex dreams?
Oh, these aren't the ones that come and eat you?
No, the vengeance ones. They're true crime of a sort. Do you know what? I don't think that we will go for a full...
A light-hearted review of the Ripper murders would be up our alley.
Well, maybe. Maybe that's what it's missing. bit of
prurience, salacious.
If you can't laugh about it,
I say tragedy plus time equals comedy. So there's been plenty of time since.
Yeah, Spring-Heeled Jack. That was true crime.
Yeah, it's true.
So I would say that while we will continue to flirt with the true crime genre, which is what we do at the moment, I don't see us going full true crime unless it was something which we made up completely and then did a parody of true crime podcasts.
You think our E. Cummings, we contain multitudes and we don't want to be defined by any one particular aspect of our multifaceted.
I think you took the words out of my mouth, Neil.
Wonderful. Well, there you go, Wendy from Hull. Let's hope that was a little bit of true crime for you in some episodes, but we don't want to be too constrained.
There's plenty of stuff out there. I've been listening to quite a lot of true crime podcasts. Such as my favourite one, Dangerous Accusations. That's a good true crime podcast. That's a good one.
Have they done the yet where the
Life Ruiner? That's a good one.
From the criminal's perspective, I'm sure that can't be too far down the road.
There's a really
O.J. Simpson, How I Got Away with It podcast.
There's a really good one called Pure Speculation. That's a good true crime podcast. True speculation with real people hurt. That's a good one. Yeah. Okay. Hey, urban legends. I quite enjoy dipping into the podcast once in a while when I don't have anything else to listen to. I tend to listen to true crime stuff. Interesting. We've got a few true crime fans here.
Okay. Well, it is a popular genre, isn't it? It's
very popular. You seem not to believe any of the urban legends you look at. Do you come to the Do you come to the investigation with a skeptical mindset, or are you actually open-minded? Regards, BoxMonkey78 from Sligo in Ireland. So, Neil, do you come with a skeptical mindset or an open mind?
I come with a philosophical open mind. I will be happy to be convinced if the evidence is out there, Chris. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't surprise me greatly when it all turns out to be absolute bollocks. Generally, no, I'm not, the bullshit detector isn't getting switched off. But that doesn't mean that I'm setting up as a fait accompli. I mean, we do tend to come into it fresh. We try not to sort of.
We don't look into
research our topics that we come with an opinion that's too formulated.
We don't flog the dead horse of researching it greatly beforehand. No, I think kind of what the idea is that we look at it anew as a and go through that. Like if you'd heard of something as the listener and you go, I'll look this up and see what it's about. At
the campfire, listening to the tale, how would you respond? That's what you must think of us as.
Yeah,
it's a delicate sponge of delicious content that we're just wringing out the moisture from. And if you squeeze too hard, it will just go through your fingers.
This is a pretty rough metaphor.
Yeah. That's how I like them.
There you go, BoxMonkey78. There's Neil's response for you. A slightly disturbing metaphor. Neil,
specialise in. So, a brief but interesting question here, Chris. So, hi all. Been enjoying the podcast. Which country has the best urban legends? And that's from Pierre in Avignon.
Bonsoir.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, America is of actual
I think the spiritual
legend,
homeland of the urban legends.
of urban legends. What we tend to do is do stuff that's urban legend adjacent as well, so it can be myths and legends of all sorts, really.
Or rumours about cake marketing.
Yeah.
Let's think it's a broad church.
Yeah. So I'd say America probably is the most urban legend dense country. I don't know. I quite like the ones that we've looked at from Africa because they're not like, and then the person was scratching on the roof. There's a bit more about them, and they tend to tap into some kind of sort of historical myths and stuff. So I quite like them. South American ones have been good as well, though. I don't know. They're all good, man. They're all good. What's interesting is the amount of similarities that pop up with different myths and legends and whatever from kind of unique areas all over the world. And it kind of makes you think: is there something indelible in the kind of human condition that kind of comes up with these things?
Yeah, I think there's it's quite interesting just to see what the folklore is from anyone particularly, because obviously from something from the UK or Ireland, or if it's from the US, perhaps we're a bit more familiar with it, whereas somewhere else we're not as familiar with. It can be quite interesting to see what people find interesting or terrifying.
Every culture has an ape man. That's what
we've taken out of it. There's always some variation of Bigfoot or Abominable Snowman or whatever one you want.
None of which.
Not so many Nessies though, Chris. That's interesting.
There are other ones.
There are. Yeah,
but again, we've not looked into those particularly yet because they're quite big.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys. What's with all these UBs? Nice, using the slang there, from India and Africa, and that when you ain't even looked at the likes of Bigfoot, Fresno Nightcrawlers, or Bat Boy. That's what I'm wanting to hear about, and that's Scotty 5 Hottie from Corpus Christi.
Nice, from the Body of Christ.
Yeah, sort of a town on the coast in Texas again.
Yeah, there you go. I was not aware that was a place in Texas. Well, I think, to be honest with you, a lot of the bigger ones like Bigfoot, I think you should said just there, Chris, we're looking to save sort of some of those. And I think, sometimes as well, what we find more interesting is something that's, maybe you haven't heard before.
Yeah, there'll be quite a lot of shit on like Bigfoot, everywhere. I don't know what we have to add to that, although we will do
I suspect very little. And to be honest with you, sometimes we've gone for one of the bigger ones. It's been a bit...
Even ones where people have never mentioned them before, we don't have a lot to add to.
No, exactly. So if it's well-trodden ground, Lord knows what will happen. We will, go through some of the big ones. We've done Jersey Devil. We've done, we've done a lot of big American ones. But I mean, actually, some of my favourite ones from America is, like you said, was it the Greenborough Ghost?
Yeah, Greenborough Ghost. I like the.
I hadn't heard of that one. That's good for me.
I like the Dark Watchers.
Yeah.
From California.
So I think we do quite a few American tales, but it's kind of like, actually, we're a little bit more interested in the ones that are maybe a bit less well known. We will get round to the bigger ones, almost certainly, but we just didn't want to run out of all of them at once.
And although our biggest two listenerships are the UK and America, we do have listeners from all over the world. Yeah. A fair few in India. And different places in Asia, like Indonesia and Philippines. So, we're trying. Well, we just do ones that we find interesting. Ones from around the world are interesting to us, I guess, and also then it's something you might not have heard of. So,
yeah, I think that's the thing for me. It's kind of like might be something I hadn't heard of. I mean, to be fair,
they're all something you haven't heard of.
They're all something I haven't heard of. Who's this Bigfoot character people keep talking about? But that's good. I like that. Rather than regurgitating something we already know. But hey, we'll get round to all of them eventually.
There you go, Scotty 5 Hottie. Enjoy Corpus Christi. It's a nice beach resort on the Gulf.
Yeah. Enjoy the spring break that either will be coming up or has come up already. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
At what time of year that happens.
So, Neil.
Well, in the spring, obviously. But yeah. When in the spring, I don't know. Anyway. Oh, sorry, no, it's me doing one for you now, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so, hi all. I'm sure you think of your podcast as a bit of fun, but it's yet another piece of the mountain of disinformation that is poisoning the internet. How can you live with yourselves? That's from Piers Morgan.
Well, do you think it's the Piers Morgan?
Oh, almost undoubtedly. I think he'd pick a fight with anyone just to try and get some vague bit of attention.
Well,
to feel something.
Pick a digital fight.
Yeah, of course. Just to attempt to feel something again. He hasn't felt anything in 20 years.
I think that I think it's very clear that we're not offering a fact-based. I mean, it's about urban legends. I think I would counter that we're not offering and have never claimed to offer any useful or correct information, and that.
Why is that, Chris? You're just hiding behind a joke like the man-children we are.
Pretty much that. Yeah, no, it's as it says in the disclaimer. It's very clear about this because I thought we might get Morgan on our ass. There is the disclaimer, and it is for entertainment purposes only. So, actually, you know, I'll see you in court, Morgan, is what I would say to that. Because
feel free to tweet at us and get our numbers up. That's fine.
Yeah, absolutely fine.
Rather than sending us hate mail.
Or send us hate mail. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? I mean, every bit of energy he uses is slightly shortening his life, isn't it? So if he uses it to write hate mail to us, then, you know, it's in the public interest, I'd say.
Any celebrity you'd most like to get hate mail from, Chris?
Oh, celebrity I'd most like to get hate mail from. Well, so you wouldn't ironically like to get it from someone you actually liked, would you?
Yeah,
so,
like Stevie Wonder came in and told you you're a prick. That'd be a bit disheartening, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be a bit disheartening considering I
was going to release a new album, you know, for the 45th anniversary of Songs of the Key. I'm not going to bother now.
I'd finally got together, like over the last 30 years, I've got together a really solid album, but I've burnt it all now.
Yeah.
Who would I like to get hate mail from? Who do I really do? I mean, there's lots of people. Jacob Rees-Mogg. Quite, don't know. He's sort of almost beyond parody, isn't he? I don't know.
He is like something out of the bean now. That's not an original observation, obviously, but he is. Yeah, he seems to enjoy it.
Anyone in our current government would be fine. I mean, who do I? I think I'm sort of post social media, so I don't really care about it any of it, and there isn't really anyone that I'd like. Do you know what? I'd like it if somehow one of our like silly jokes about like you going out with George Clooney or something, and his representatives got on the phone to us and demanded we took it down. Something like that would be quite funny. That would be quite good because I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, you're prepared to die on that hill, are you?
I am, yeah, absolutely.
Sacrifice both of us. That's good.
Well, no, you can distance yourself from it. You can say, well, Chris had all editorial duties, and I asked him to take it off. He refused.
Put it on mic now.
It's all in my name, isn't it? You're fine. Hi, Urban Legends. I've quite enjoyed, that's good, the first 2 seasons from one of our friends across the pond.
I like it. I like a limited bit of praise. Yeah, qualified.
Have a recommendation for season 3. Could you please do something to make Neil's voice less annoying? ? It's like listening to Jamie Oliver with a mouthful of gravel, and that's from the mixologist. So, Neil, Jamie Oliver with a mouthful of gravel. I mean, I would say
not inaccurate.
I would say that would sound okay because one would counteract the other, neutralising it.
Yeah, well, I guess he's getting at it's kind of like, you know, fat tongued but even more poorly enunciated. Well, say I kind of.
I think your voice is fine. I don't know what the mixologist.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, what we'll say on this, Chris, is we've done rigorous EQing of my voice to make it as good as it could possibly sound. So this is what you're getting. I'm afraid.
You should hear it in real life. This is through auto-tune.
I could attempt to enunciate better, but we're not into effort-based solutions. So anything that a computer can fix for us, we've already investigated, and you're getting the optimum performance.
Yeah, I'll be honest. So, yeah. I'll be honest with you, the mixologist. Neil is actually just a character of my creation, and this is actually just a digital voice that I type in his half of the script into. Yeah, so
we did try and do it with Siri or whatever the other equivalents are, but yeah.
So your argument really is with Bill Gates, not with us. But thank you, mixologist, and you're from everywhere apparently, so that's interesting.
He must be here with us now then.
Hopefully.
Okay, let's have a look. So we've got just looking through the check. Oh, we've got a little bit of a positive one here for you, Chris. So, hey guys, great job on the podcast.
Oh,
when I was on the set of The Quest, I remember Sir Roger Moore turning to me one day with a raised eyebrow. Hey guys, great job on the podcast. When I was on the set of The Quest, I remember Sir Roger Moore turning to me one day with a raised eyebrow saying, "Eyebrow? Did I say that again?"
No.
Right, I'll try for it.
I'm leaving all this in.
Hey guys, great job on the podcast. When I was on the set of The Quest, I remember Sir Roger Moore turning to me one day with a raised eyebrow. Raised eyebrow. What? It's because you keep talking about it and saying, "One day, Jean-Claude, there'll be a free radio program that makes a light-hearted look at urban legends, just like we've always wanted."
Right.
Sometimes when I'm doing the splits between two shares listening to your podcast, I like to think Sir Roger is listening with me in heaven. That's from JCVD in Brussels.
Right. So you see, I think that you've put this one in here because we get a download from Brussels in every episode, which I believe is actually just where they keep the Spotify servers or something. But you think it's
here's corroborating evidence.
Is it really?
Here's corroborating evidence.
Well, why is the email address that it comes from sexyneil69@gmail.com?
I don't know. I can't argue for why he's used that server to send his emails.
It's popular server, popular name.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you think that Sir Roger Moore would enjoy it and maybe would rise an eyebrow to us in and a knowing nods to say that we're doing okay, Jean-Claude. Maybe at your age, stop doing the splits though. I would say, get your prostate checked, that kind of thing. Neil, do you have anything to add?
No, very important. Your prostate health, obviously.
Yeah.
Yes. But for me, if you feel you can still do the splits at your age, you go for it.
Yeah. Maybe when you're doing the splits, check your prostate. That'd be
good, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Be good, yeah. Easy
or you could just sort of blow yourself down onto the doctor's finger like a
blow yourself down onto
a drawbridge.
Onto a pool cue.
Yeah.
With a thermometer, sellotape to it. We've all done it. Hi guys. My favourite episode is Robert the Doll. It's really interesting. Have you seen there's a new Robert the Doll film on Netflix? If so, what do you think? Do you think the producers paid Robert in weeds? Haha. And that's from Terry in Bremen.
Oh, nice.
I have seen there's a new Robert the Doll film out in Netflix. So
is that on Netflix UK, Chris?
Yes.
I will be having a watch if that's the case.
Yes, it is, yeah. The doll
I would imagine it's going to have
like our dear sweet Robert.
I imagine it's going to have a limit. Well, this is the thing, is that when they did Annabelle, it looked nothing like they went for a consciously spooky one.
Yeah.
But I think he does look a bit eerie, so I'll be a bit upset if they change him too much.
They have changed it. I imagine he's like very much like Neymar,
like Chucky or something
like Neymar or something. He's got image rights issues to use an actual.
Oh, do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right. Sign Robert the Doll. You make the money back in, shirt sales. How it works, You won't make the money back in shirt sales if you sign Robert the Doll.
No,
because he owns his own image rights.
Yeah. He's not letting go of those for anything cheap. I'm up for this. I plan to watch this. I imagine it will be a very limited budget, but that's fine. I don't mind.
Well, it was on my. It was on
Netflix will put any old shite on.
It's on the It's on the front screen of Netflix, so it's not like hidden away. I think it's big budget. I mean, when I say big budget, I mean like compared to the film of like the several films around the Melonheads, which had a budget of about 15 quid. Do you know what I mean?
They clearly like, but yeah, it's the latest kind of like. Well, it used to be straight to DVD, it's straight to streaming now, isn't it? I don't know. I think it's just the sort of content they have padding out the back of the service, but you just got it up on the front because it's just the sort of shit you watch. But that's fine. I'll be watching it. Don't worry about it.
Do you think that'll give us a boost in ratings? People will be going Robert the Doll crazy, looking desperate for podcasts.
Looking at any flavour of Robert Doll they can get. Well, there's a wealth of opportunity out there, so they won't necessarily come to us first. But yeah, you never know, might give us a little bump.
Well, there's not loads of.
We've had a shout out on Twitter from.
I would say that's the biggest thing that's happened to our podcast. I would say that Robert the Doll linked our podcast without listening to it, I'm sure.
Yeah, and he PM'd us and let us know, yeah, he can be paid in weed. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Stronger the better, yeah. You got some sick shit, Robert will do whatever.
Yeah, don't come to me with anything less than 80% pure.
Yeah, and you better not. So yeah, all of the above. Good question.
So there you go, Terry. We've not heard it yet, but Neil's going to give it a watch, and he'll give us some feedback on it in series 3.
That's some movie review topics. There's a
Hope Pele's in it.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
It's a bit low rent for him.
Yeah, he's becoming a bit more of a.
He only does stuff on HBO Max now.
Yeah, but you can blame him.
Yeah,
serious actor these days. No, he's lived a life, Chris.
And Pathé.
Lived enough life for 3 of us. Right. Yeah, all right, Microsoft, shut up. Just pulling out a few of these into a Word document, Chris. That's taking surprisingly longer than you'd like to. Yeah.
Have you got that? Is the paperclip?
It's just Clippy's getting a bit fucking mouthy. He's going to get cut if he's not fucking careful.
You didn't turn him into the super cool puppy dog thing.
Or the puppy dog or the wizard or whatever. Yeah, that was.
Still around? I liked the cat because I like cats.
I like a little interaction with fictional paper clips or otherwise as possible.
I believe they probably ended that with Windows 95.
Yeah, or XP maybe. Right, anyway. Okay, so I'll tell you what. Just a random sampling here, Chris, but inundated with celebrity emails. I mean,
I'm starting to question the emails that you're pulling out.
If they are who they say they are.
Or whisper.
I don't know. Somebody might have. Anyway, look.
Wink, wink.
Hi, Chris. Not bad work on the podcast, my friend. Ooh. When are you going to ditch the dead weight of the co-presenter? It's worse than that new Bad Boys movie I had a cameo in, and that's from DJ Khaled.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's come up in conversation a few times, hasn't he? Well, you keep bringing him up. And now apparently he's emailing in.
And he may be turning up later as well.
Yeah, maybe you will.
Maybe you won't. Who knows? I think what's happened here.
Pays me some money.
I think this.
Less sceptical now, aren't you, Chris?
I am less sceptical because I know you've got an on-off friendship with him. You've had your run-ins over the boat purchase.
Frenemies.
You are frenemies, best of frenemies. I think Neil is an excellent counterpoint to my charismatic, wonderful presenting style. Yeah. I think he's
a little bit of tedium just helps balance
very much the layman. I think if it was purely me, then it would be too exciting. So, and people don't want that in a podcast. just 100%, zany, 100% zany, 100% of the time. So
you never have two colour commentators, do you?
We're very much like Neil, I forget who, but Professor Brian Cox and the comedian, and they do stuff together. We're very much like that. Neil being the Brian Cox of the two of us, the man with the knowledge, his finger on the pulse of the occult, I guess, the cryptozoology department at Brooks University, and me just adding a bit. Really, Neil brings the information, and I bring the laughs. I think that's fair to say.
Fair enough. Well, you've said it, so.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with it, but
I hope that's worked out well for you, Khaled.
Yeah.
Back on your motorboat.
So, dear urban legends, I live near Kildara, and this is the first time I've heard a podcast about it. There were lots of abandoned towns in that area, and I honestly think it was down to climate change as well. But if not that, what other crazy things do you think it could be, guys? Aliens? ? And that's from Rui A in Jaipur. So I guess.
Well, it's the usual gamut, isn't it? It could be aliens.
Well, the thing is, we've not really.
Could be magic. Could be the military experiment.
We've not really looked at desert ghosts, have we? Or desert spirits, I'm sure there are. A jinn are a kind of desert. Well, they're like genies.
I did do have a little look. There was a tale of a jinn, so there was a bit about that. But the problem with those ones is because they're quite the folklore. There doesn't tend to be a lot of specificity, and it's going to be quite difficult to dig into a story if it's really like. I mean, something like the jinn. I mean, yeah, I suppose you could, but it's really hard trying to find examples of.
So I'm wondering, could it be a death worm that has migrated south under the from the Gobi Desert, under the Himalayas, and then into Jaipur, into Kildara, and then scared everyone away, or melted them, or electrocuted them with its electric shots, which it can do, definitely.
Like Blanca from
Street Fighter.
Yeah, Street Fighter, that's the one. Yeah, there's that one. Yeah, I mean, what else could it be? You would need to check to see whether or not it's on a ley line or a vortex.
I mean, it could be
classic.
Classic. I mean, it almost certainly is. It could also. I mean, could they have all been people have
been invaded by the Fremen from Dune? Trying to recreate their homeland. Spice must flow.
Could be.
I didn't watch that 3 days ago or anything.
Could it be that people were whisked away in like a tornado, leaving just the buildings?
Do you reckon they've gone to Oz?
Maybe. I mean, I think they probably would have just
called a horror equivalent.
I would imagine they've probably just been shattered against the rocks, but I mean, maybe Oz.
You've not got the soul of a poet at all, have you, Chris?
The soul of a realist.
Yeah.
It's a new labour, new danger. So there we go. There's some ideas. Oh, of course, it could have been aliens. They could have abducted the town and maybe put them in some kind of alien zoo.
Maybe just over forested, overworked the land, and
he's already said that he agrees that it's probably climate change. So
it doesn't necessarily just have to be climate change, Chris. Sometimes it can be about how you maintain the land as well.
I would have imagined that
unrelated to climate change.
I would think if people had lived there for a few thousand years, they wouldn't suddenly start not understanding how to farm the land.
That's what's happened in a lot of societies. The soil's getting worse because we overwork it.
Yeah, maybe they all just got
industrialised
addicted to TikTok and stuff, and forgot how to farm. So yeah, there you go, Rory. Thanks for listening. There's a few suggestions of what else may have happened. Neil.
Right, okay, so done that one. Oh, short and sweet one from Chris in Southend.
Oh, nice.
For your namesake, Chris. Hi, Chris. Loving the podcast. Who is your favourite paranormal investigator? It's from Chris in Southend.
I'd have to say Neil Herbert.
Why would you lie to Chris? Your namesake?
Well, because us Chris's are very much like the Highlanders. There can be only one. But who were those?
You're just trying to cover up the fact that you don't know any paranormal investigators.
Who were those con artist ones who?
The Warrens.
The Warrens, yeah, them.
I don't know.
The next question.
The very famous ones, the Warrens. Yeah, I don't know. Speaking personally, I like the. No, my favourite one, without a shadow of a doubt. I can't remember what this is on, but I can't remember the program I saw it on. But there's basically there's one where they have a Zach Baggins character who's like the colourful. Whoa, maybe there's an energy going on.
Like me
sunglasses up, yeah. And then there's like a medium, and she comes in and is really over dramatic.
Oh, you got the builder.
Then they just got this builder who comes in and goes, well, what you've done there is you've not planed that door. I mean, that's going to be giving you something like that. Well, look, I mean, you've got a drip down there, so that's going to go. They just come really just, it's brilliant. I love that. Just deadpan just goes through and just basically explains that you've not maintained your house properly. That's where you get all these squeaks and creaks. By far and away my favourite paranormal investigator.
Cool. Well, there you go, Chris.
I've got to find out his name. I think I'm going to get a tattoo.
Yeah, good. Another one.
Yeah,
another tattoo. So I've got one here for you. So one for you. Short and sweet. Neil, you're a big guy. Would you fight a Yowie for $1 million? And that's from Tim in Canberra.
Tim in Canberra, you say?
I don't think it's that Tim.
It's not Tim the Yowie man, you don't think?
Wouldn't have. Well, I mean, it'd be on Sunday.
Well, if it is Tim, or you're listening, well done in the fight against Cadbury. Good luck to you. Maybe write back Yowies now and then.
Man's fight against Cadbury.
Stop slagging off lakes.
Yeah.
I know you're full of anger after your 3 rounds with Cadbury's, but don't take it out on mates.
Out of it. Yeah.
Hadn't done anything to harm you. I've forgotten what the question was now.
Would I fight $1 million?
So they're supposed to run away, aren't they? They're supposed to be a bit.
Yeah, but I imagine that it would be in like a UFC steel cage.
Do you reckon?
Yeah,
they'd be really good at I don't know, Krav Maga or what's that one they do, or grappling and stuff like that. Was it Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or something? Yeah, I'm not a big one for fighting. I don't have any fight training, so if it was a UFC, well, $1 million though, you got to give it a go, haven't you?
Yeah, but be aware that the Australian dollar. I'm just doing this.
Well, that's at least. I'm not sure. It used to be something like 1 in 4? Was it like 250 grand?
Let's have a look. So $1 million. I mean, it's still £500,000.
It's about half now. Yeah,
it's all right, isn't it?
That's not too sharp. I can't turn my nose up at that.
So you'd fight a Yowie for.
I'd have to. Yeah.
For 500. So if anyone wants to if anyone has access to a Yowie and wants to put a GoFundMe for,
if some bizarre reason,
£563,280.
Your must-see fight is me versus a Yowie. Then bring it on. We can make that happen.
People are paying a lot to see Logan Paul fight people, so why not?
That's true. Yeah.
This is a lot cheaper, and I'd say probably more of a spectacle.
I think you get more out of it.
You versus a mythical beast.
You got to find him first.
Well, we've got over 200 views on YouTube.
Oh,
right.
Do you know what though? Because that's the thing. Is Logan Paul? He could turn it. I mean, that he wouldn't. He'd spend that on breakfast, would he?
Would you fight Logan Paul for £563,280?
Oh yeah, with pleasure. I'm sure he'd beat me out. Don't get me wrong, but I'm absolutely convinced of it. But yeah, it's fine.
Are you convinced of it? Because he's quite musty, but I don't think he's street smarts.
Well, the thing is, Chris, I'm
not talking about.
Fit,
I'm not talking Queensbury rules. I'm talking fight him.
Oh yeah, no, I'd try and throw sand in his eyes. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to try and fight fair.
Set him on fire.
Yeah. Petrol bomb.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, just bite his testicles off. Where's your viewers now, Logan?
Where's your platinum play button now? Stick this in plexiglass.
Lovely.
There we go.
There you go.
Well, that came
take it to the streets.
Terrifying end. After my fight with my Yowie, maybe I will sort of, get back in touch with my, primal nature. Who knows?
The Yowie's in the Yowie's in
Wake
your
something
corner.
up in me that I didn't know.
It's like Rocky. You fight the Yowie, and then the Yowie's like your Apollo Creed, and he ends up in your corner.
Yeah. And then I unite Twitter and YouTube, like he solved, the Cold War by punching a Russian and then going. I don't know what was the ending of that. Maybe he did solve the Cold War by winning a fight, didn't he? I think
Probably.
If I can have a fight, you can have a fight. I'm Russian, you're American. We can all be together. And then just
fight each
fade to black, so nobody realises how ridiculous I think it is.
You just see the Berlin Wall fall.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Saw that in the 80s. Loved it. Not a problem. Had no issue with that.
Nah.
We all learn over time, Chris. Anyway, right. One for me, is it? Well, okay, yeah, not really. Not really. Just different set of mistakes that look very similar to the old ones. Another short and sweet one. So, hey, Chris, enjoying the podcast, but when are you going to do Bigfoot? And what's your scariest urban legend? Tammy from Auckland in New Zealand.
Oh, hi, Tammy. Well, I don't know when we're going to do Bigfoot. We're going to do... There's lots of...
Holding it off, haven't we?
We're holding it off. Holding back the tears. Maybe we'll, like, our last series will be a power series where we just...
do a Bigfoot series, do all the Bigfoots.
Well, I was thinking you could do a mini-series, which is just every one of the 8 legends, which you do like a 10-part series. But the answer is don't know. I don't know. Like, I just don't have much to say about Bigfoot, really. I mean, there'll be loads of funny stuff, and it'd have to be like a 2-part or whatever, because it's more the people, the Bigfoot hunters.
People around it. It's because people really get into it, and it's like, like Joe Cornish is really into Bigfoot sites.
And that bloke who just, who said he had a Bigfoot in the freezer, and it was actually just like one. It was like a bear's body with a Ronald Reagan mask on it or something.
I love when a lie inevitably is going to get you caught out. Just that.
Are you trying to sell it for like for 100,000? No one can see it. Buy it sight unseen, 100,000. Yeah, so nice. Yeah, there's good. Do you know what? Like we always say, respect the grift. There's going to be a fuckload of that if we do Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Scariest urban legends that we've looked at. Oh. I'm not sure, really. Neil, do you have a scariest one?
I mean,
you got to remember.
I can't remember how many of these we've done, but there's some like Mrs. Koi Koi and stuff like that. You'll get sort of like a Korean or a Japanese one. They tend, I think actually Mrs. Koi Koi might have been African actually.
Yeah, she was.
But some of the African ones and some of the Japanese and Korean ones can be quite sort of brutal. They'll just be like somebody who just stabs people in the top. They get right to the point.
Yeah, so
you can see why J horror became a big thing in the 90s. There's some pretty brutal ghosts and stuff that are getting on with business there. They don't muck around. Whereas here we've got Bloody Mary spooking you in a mirror or whatever, and then they just come and sort of slice your tendons off. So yeah. Extreme physical pain isn't something I'd be particularly keen on experiencing. So that terrifies me.
Right, I'm just having a little look through.
If it were right. Yeah, because like the animal people and stuff like that, I tend to feel more sorry for them.
Yeah, me too. So, I mean, none of them are very scary.
Well, this is the thing. It's interesting because we did make it cornerstone of our scoring system. Because your ultimate urban myth, you would be spooky. I think spooky.
I would say maybe the only one. I guess the My Way curse is quite scary, just because they're actual acts of horrendous physical violence that happen and they're recorded and have happened. So.
I think walking into town where literally no one gives a fuck, and if you say the wrong thing, they're pulling out a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, we've both been in pubs where there's like some simmering undercurrent of physical violence that might pop out of an evening. That's awful. Neither of us have been to that, but the fact that could be, end up with gunplay.
Yeah,
yeah.
So I'd say maybe the My Way curse, like the bloke like just stabbing someone up, I guess the things which I find, the ones which are kind of scariest to me aren't really the supernatural ones. They're more the ones around, like something, the reason why something like Amityville is a bit like, ugh, is not because I actually believe that the person was inhabited by demons. It's because someone was mentally ill and killed their whole family. So I think, though, like stuff like that that's more realistic is probably the scariest bit. And people kind of paint a supernatural veneer, but the truth is that the human mind, in some instances, given the right circumstances and probably given the right chemical makeup in your brain, which isn't really your fault, can snap, and people can do awful things. So, but then I'm not really scared of other humans particularly, but I wouldn't particularly want to face someone who was really desperate to kill me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you could never. I mean, no matter what you think, you could or couldn't defend yourself. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say one way or the other, but you could never, you could never know for somebody who's really determined, or I mean, fortunately, guns aren't particularly prevalent where we are, but that obviously is something you can't really defend yourself against either.
So there you go. Yeah. There's your answer. Nice and serious. Neil, my cousin knows DJ Khaled, and he doesn't even like boats. I've heard Wiz Khalifa likes sailing, though. DJ Khaled likes dirigibles. Check out his Insta. Get your facts straight. And that's from Jeff K in Miami. So, Neil, are you going to get your facts straight?
He's clearly, he's stirring up trouble a bit today, isn't he? Popped up again.
Do you think Jeff K is Jeff Khaled? Well, it's nice that he likes dirigibles, isn't it? Maybe he might be into steampunk.
Oh, we've got a steampunk question, unfortunately.
Oh,
can't believe. I feel like deleting that now. Yeah, he probably would. He's going to try and drive
away. Phileas Fogg in his dirigible.
I can't answer the question now. I'm just furious because you've thrown steampunk into the mix.
Over Miami in a hot air balloon.
Right, go and do one back in Miami, Khaled. Right. Get back on your dirigible.
But what about Wiz Khalifa like sailing? So maybe that's more your pace.
I'm sure Wiz Khalifa likes sailing when he's stoned, or driving when he's stoned, or sitting around watching bad movies when he's stoned. I think it's more the getting stoned part that Wiz Khalifa likes. I would imagine. Yeah. Well, he made a whole film with what's his face, Snoop Dogg, didn't he?
Did he?
Have you seen this? It's terrible. They're both it's like a back to school thing.
Oh, okay.
So Wiz Khalifa's like the valedictorian.
Right.
And he's uptight and all that. And Snoop Dogg's like just Snoop Dogg. And he just teaches him about how awesome it is to smoke weed.
Right, 60-year-old Snoop Dogg going back to school, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, they make a joke of that. And it's like, he has to keep repeating the class, except, it's like, it must have been about 40 years where he's been in high school. Yeah, because the thing is, it's not like they end up having to go for some comedic premise. Like Snoop Dogg is literally still in high school, apparently.
Yeah. That's
the funniest joke.
Lean into it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Other than that, they just smoke an awful lot of weed.
Well, it's a subculture.
It's a cozy 70 minutes with.
I mean, I smoked weed a bit when I was younger, like when I was teenager, early 20s. I kind of knocked it on the head then because I stopped liking it. But I can't say that I really got into or finding weed stuff really funny. Like Cheech and Chong or Snoop Dogg films where he's getting stoned or stuff like that. Like I didn't like Harold and Kumar get the munchies. I didn't find weed stuff particularly funny.
I think, and good luck to you if you're into it, like whatever you want to do, as long as it doesn't harm yourself or others.
You can harm yourself.
You can definitely do too much. You know what I mean?
I smoke cigarettes. It harms me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know what I mean. As best as you can without me being too critical about it. But no, I just get the idea that any kind of thing where there's like a real culture around it, like that weed culture thing, I just find it's a bit sort of
instantly move away from.
Not for me. Yeah, well, I mean, it's fine. Don't get me wrong. If
it's like cultures around different styles of music, that's instantly something I don't want any part of. Even though I might like songs from that type of music, I don't want to. Well,
for dress in the same uniforms,
like you and dressing as a juggalo and that kind of stuff. I refuse to do it. I actually refuse to walk around town with you when you're on your little.
With my juggalo fan.
when you're
Oh,
dressed as a juggalo, on your inliners skating around.
Yeah. How I do.
Grinding.
Quite for life.
Grinding out around the back of the library, grinding.
Yeah. Doing a bit of meth. Anyway.
There you go. Thank you for that question, Jeff K.
Right, so I've got 2 more for you, Chris. So hopefully there's
I've got 2 more as well.
We're going to 10 a piece. So here's a long one. So hi guys, just wanted to say the podcast certainly isn't the worst one out there.
That's good.
There are a few bits that made me chuckle.
Oh.
I'd say Chris is fairly funny, but not as funny as he thinks he is, which is fine because who could be?
Did you write this?
Wow. I don't know. Sometimes he coughs. I think he might smoke too much. Now, far be it from me to say it's aging him. I've seen it on the socials. Anyway, don't give up. It's not that bad, and as long as you enjoy it, who's going to stop you? Well, we'll find out, won't we, I suppose?
Oh, that's interesting.
So that was from Benjamin Hyde in Sevenoaks.
Sevenoaks,
not far from us.
Not too far from us. Well, thanks, Benjamin. It kind of feels like
he's got a few pointers there for you.
Slightly sort of faint praise, but kind of, I don't know. Is he negging me? It feels a bit like negging.
But no, it doesn't mention me, which is really what I was interested in, Chris. So.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, as soon as he started,
I think
talking about you, I just kind of, my brain turned off. And I just read the words out, whatever. Something about he shouldn't smoke, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a bit weird that you kind of judging my appearance on socials, but
think he's stalking you?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. What just nice, interested.
Well, I do
smoke. I do smoke. I don't think it's aging me that much. I think I look quite young for nearly 40. But
do you?
Is
that another lie you're telling yourself?
It's another lie I'm telling myself. Thanks, Benjamin. I appreciate you listening. I'm glad it gives you a few chuckles, even if I'm not quite as funny as I think I am. Right, move on. Hi, Neil. You have spoken about some human-animal hybrids, and you seem to like them.
Yep, well, fine.
If you could have a secret government experiment done to you, which animal would you blend with and why? And that's from Deirdre in O'Fallon.
I'm going to say a lion, and not for the obvious reason.
Oh,
aesthetically, they look awesome.
Britannia.
No, not necessarily. Well, lions are in all sorts of shields of countries, aren't
heraldry,
they? Heraldry. So I wasn't really going there. No, I'll tell you why. I was just thinking,
sleep a lot.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that was basically. I've seen
why not a pussycat then?
Well, just something at London Zoo. No, because lions look awesome. The thing is, you go up and you see them, and they look really majestic, and they just kind of got this really regal appearance. And they just kind of yawn a bit, and then just kind of have a lie down.
Do you think that you'd look like that lion who's like the spokesthing for 666 Casino?
I don't know
online
what that
betting thing.
It sounds awful. I'm just trying to think though, which part of me would be the lion and which part of me would be me. Because I think I might look a bit less regal and majestic if it was my fucking boat race jutting out of a lion's head.
Just your head on a lion's body.
Yeah. I don't know, give it a go.
Look like the Sphinx.
Or maybe if I could transplant my head with a lion's.
What if you had your head, lion's body, but your arms and legs? That'd be nice, wouldn't it, Neil? Do you think?
Distressing. I don't know. I'm not sure. We've got to keep the tail at least, don't we? I don't know. I'm wondering now though. Yeah, maybe just have a lion's head. I'm gonna have to think about this. Sorry, I've missed the name. I think it's a good question. I think definitely a lion. Deirdre. I'm gonna have to have a think about this, Deirdre. I don't know whether I'm putting a lion's head on my shoulders or whether I'm putting my head on a lion's body.
I mean, you could what about half and half down the middle?
Yeah, no, it's not gonna pan out very well for either of us.
What about like a centaur with a lion's body and your torso rising up from the neck with your arms?
Or maybe you've got two heads, So it's two-headed. It's one on a lion head and one with my head jutting out.
Would the lion's head have a lion's brain in it as well?
Yeah.
So it'd just eat your
and
head.
a lion's courage. Wouldn't it be like, fucking yeah, this is metal, let's do it. Speaks perfect English as well for some reason.
So it's
got a lion's instincts. Well, no, it's a cross between,
You've got a lion's brain and it's got your brain.
No, we influence one another. Me and my lion brother.
Swap the brains.
Yeah.
So like your head's like constantly trying to eat gazelles, but like breaking its teeth and stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds like a nightmare. Well, there you go, Deirdre. Neil's going to have a little bit more of a think about it, but in some combination, it's him and a lion. Unsurprisingly,
might have the griffin wings. Of the man. I don't know.
Might have griffin wings. She said one.
Yeah, well,
can't have fantasy. More. It's not a fantasy. It's a question. It's an answer to a specific question, Neil.
Wow.
Come on, then. Nearly there.
Right. Okay. I've got one last one for you, Chris. Uh-huh. So, hey, Chris.
Hi.
What's your favourite steampunk invention? Mine is the steam power ruler. It looks so cool. Cheers. And that's from Paradox Expressed. And I'll say Paradox has got 2 X's and there are dollar signs as the S's. I don't know why in Expressed.
Well, that's a cool name.
Pretty cool, isn't it? For a pretty cool guy.
Pretty cool guy. Yeah. My favourite steampunk invention, I would have to say the steam train. Next question.
How is that? Not just steam power?
Yes. So a steampunk.
You've got to put something useless on it for it to be steampunk.
Okay. Steam powered toaster. That'd do. It's got like you put
bread's not crisping up very well, is it? Never mind, it looks cool.
You put your toast in, and then you put like a little bit of coal in the thing and up the twiddle with the gauges. Toot toot. And then your toast comes out. All lovely and burnt. Right, well that's my answer, toaster. That's all
Paradox Expressed. That's the
sorry, Paradox Expressed.
Sounds equally stupid and pointless as the one of those steampunk things to me, but there you go. I'll let you and Chris enjoy it.
Right, so this is a good one to finish on. It's a criticism, I think.
I'll take it on the chin.
Have you guys been contacted by the CIA to use this podcast in enhanced interrogations? Also, who writes the script? A brain dead monkey, and that's from Whifflecuck.
Yeah. So no, we would welcome if the CIA would like to reach out and use it for an enhanced interrogation. We've got no problem with that.
And we will do it. We'll do it for quite a low price because we're patriots.
Yeah, exactly. It's 50 hours of torture. You could really drive someone over the edge with these back to back.
Oh, you should hear some of the unreleased stuff.
Oh, yeah, we've got some extra tasty stuff. You can
we'll chuck in the unedited stuff for an extra 10%.
This is just like 3 chilies on the heat scale. We've got some vindaloo motherfucking filed stuff you can get hold of if you want for real enhancing that interrogation.
You really want to break someone.
Mind and spirit and body.
And also, is the scripts written by a brain dead monkey?
Well, I'm amused you think there's a script.
Yeah,
so there isn't a script. Joke's on you, isn't it? Who wrote that?
It's from Whifflecuck.
Yeah, you're a cuck, all right, Whiffle.
I think Whifflecuck might be an incel.
Oh, really? Do you think he's calling? Is he telling us we're a pair of cucks? Fair enough.
That talk Whiffle, or it could have been. It could be Boris Johnson.
Well, he tends to be the other way around, doesn't he? He's more
cuck Whiffle.
No one. He's more,
But he's the kind of person who say the word Whiffle.
Yeah. Or he just come out with some shockingly racist thing from about 300 years ago you've never heard of, and now sadly has to take space in your brain.
So no, it's not.
Wow, I had to reach out to a dictionary to find out how hateful that was. Thanks for that, Boris.
Whifflecuck, you'd be shocked to hear that it's not scripted. It would be a really, that'd be an interesting. If this was scripted, it would be the total kind of cinema veritas scripting, wouldn't it? But you'd have to be a master of the art of writing
Well, a monkey can't
confused
either
human
type
nonsense.
or read English of brain dead or brain alive variety.
Brainful.
So you've made a fool of yourself there.
There you go.
Kirk.
Well, let's leave it at that now.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, that's all I've pulled out. You got any more?
That's all of it. You ended on the
On a high. Well, there you go. So thanks for listening. Please continue to send in your emails to.
Have we got a needlessly convoluted address that they can?
It's urb.legends.podcast@gmail.com, which I don't think is particularly convoluted, but Neil likes to criticise it because he hasn't come up with anything better. So just sitting on the sideline,
I just slag
little
off
goblin, little goblin. Oh, can we have a better one? We'll go and get a better one. No, I'm not doing that. That's what you would do.
Damn right. Yeah. Just going to criticise. It's far easier.
Moan. That's it. And series 3 will be released very soon on the 2nd of June. So keep your peepers open.
Dropping this one in the break. Is that the plan for this?
Yeah, we'll just stick this one out. Well, yeah. All right. So that's it from this mailbag episode of Urbane Legends. And thank you all, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.